Hi guys, so I'm planning to be active on YouTube again, especially because of the new age update. I'm gonna make some content once it goes live to KMS, just like I did with the Destiny update, assuming this update will actually bring new and interesting things. So to start with my YouTube channel revival, I thought I should make an updated tier list for bossing mules post-savior, because a new Hyperburn is coming, so that's the perfect opportunity to make a new bossing mule, and picking the right class actually matters and can make things way easier, so hopefully this video will help some of you guys. Let's dig into it. Okay, so first we have Hayato. It's one of the worst options for a bossing mule at this point in my opinion. The nodes are horrible, it's the class with the most node issues if I remember correctly, and either way it fell behind damage wise. It's not strong as it used to be because Nexon neglected it because it's a non-KMS class. So Cadena's DPS is insane, but it comes with a price. You gotta weave between combos, which also creates a node issue. This class isn't very suitable for a bossing mule in my opinion, but it's an amazing class for sure, one of the strongest, and they are even getting a small nerf in Savior update. So they belong to mains, they are better in late game. Cannon Master. Okay, so Cannon Masters are bursty now. Should be super good with Oz rings and in late game, but even as a bossing mule they are great. Their nodes are simple and easy, and they have a low cooldown iframe with overall strong burst and solid DPS, so I think they belong in amazing. Pathfinder. Okay, so Pathfinder is consistently getting buffed, and in Savior update they are getting another big buff, so it's actually a really good class now. Amazing DPS, good mobility, and of course sharp eyes, which helps a lot and saves a node slot, so I think it belongs to great. Jett. Rip Jett, for real, Sag. I loved this class. Nexon just decided to fully delete it because they are too cheap and trash to handle the Jett programming and codes. It's pretty much a nerf to the whole global Maplestory server. We're gonna lose 5% crit damage in Legion and Jett Link, which is best in slot. So, big rip. Beast Tamer burst setup is a nightmare. It takes way too long and it's way too complicated and annoying to use. The overall survivability is pretty good and the DPS isn't that bad, but it also got neglected by Nexon because it's a non-KMS class. It has two useless 5th job skills in addition to the horrible burst setup, so it's definitely lacking in all aspects. I wouldn't boss mule this class, it seems way too annoying and complicated. It goes to lacking. Alright, Lara. So in the post-Destiny balance update, Lara got huge buffs. It's pretty strong now. I would say the survivability is lacking, but the DPS and low cooldown skills are great for a bossing mule, and the burst is insane, but it's not really brain dead. You gotta micromanagement a lot of things, and I personally have a Lara bossing mule, and I often skip it because I prefer lazier options, but it definitely belongs to great. Okay, so we got our first perfect bossing mule. This class is cracked, it's so overpowered, the burst is so long and so strong. My 17k stats down warrior clears Lotus and Damien as fast as my 21k stats battle mage. This class is amazing in all aspects, 100% a free bossing mule with easy nodes as well, And just a reminder, don't forget to use True Sight debuff if you are playing a down warrior. Kain. So Kain is getting a lot of buffs in Savior update, and finally it will be pretty good. The micromanagements are just way too much in my opinion. It's not a chill-brained class where you can just watch YouTube or anime and do the weekly bosses on half screen. You gotta actually focus, and it's also a burst class, which is a disadvantage as a bossing mule. So if you're okay with the effort, sure, go for it. So yeah, it's pretty much up to you. Hoyang. So sadly Hoyang also has a node issue. They are using tons of skills from all over the skills kit, and as a bossing mule it's kinda problematic. And either way, again, it's a burst class, which means its full potential is with Oz rings, so it would fit more to main this class instead of boss mule it. It belongs to node issues or mains. Dark Knight. Dark Knight is really fun to play. They have fun low cooldown skills. You have a 30 seconds long iframe, which is the longest iframe in Maplestory. That's insane. Definitely an amazing option as a bossing mule. You can also get a cooldown reduction out on it, and it will make it even better and more fun. The overall DPS is amazing. Blaze Wizard. Okay, so I don't know much about Blaze Wizards, to be honest. Their revamp was disappointing, and the burst looks good, but I have no idea honestly. I think I'm just gonna put it in here. Ivan is lacking. This class is high effort with low damage. They are getting some cute buffs in Savior update, but it's still overall bad. The burst setup and preparations are so bad. If the boss moves, it's doomed, you lost the burst. And at the same time, the DPS is pretty bad while you have to rotate between skills and do combos and annoying things. So yeah, high effort, low damage, lacking for sure. Okay, Mihile or Mahil, I don't know. So this class is great. They got a lot of buffs over time, and especially in Ignition update, it became a pretty solid class. They are getting a nerf in Savior update, but the consistent DPS is still good. And they also have a great burst, pretty long one with amazing survivability. It could be a great bossing mule. Hero. Hero is a really strong class with amazing bossing kit. They have the highest final damage percent in the game and super low cooldown iframes, which makes their survivability one of the best. Hero's bossing is easy and fun, amazing DPS while also having an amazing long burst every 2 minutes. Marksman. Marksman became one of the most brain-dead classes. You can just place a dummy and hold one key and GG, that's it. They have a nice burst and solid DPS, super easy nodes and simple V metrics. You can basically just ignore 2 of the 5th job skills. I think it's the most node saving bossing mule. They require the least nodes, so it goes to amazing. And of course they also have a built-in sharp eyes, which helps a lot. Night Lord. Okay, so hear me out on this one, guys. Night Lord is currently the most overpowered or strongest class in Maplestory, especially after Savior. They got insane buffs, and especially in global Maplestory attack speed. But that's only the case with Oz rings and max nodes. So it 100% belongs to mains. It's not a comfortable bossing mule, even though it has the potential to be the strongest. Because again, that happens only in late game with raw 4 max nodes and everything. So yeah. Aran is very similar to Night Lord. I also have to put it in mains. It's a burst class, you need those rings to reach its full potential. It's also a combo class, so you gotta smash the keyboard. It's not very convenient as a bossing mule, but just saying in general, burst classes has a disadvantage as a bossing mules because you gotta wait for the burst to come up for each boss, which makes the whole bossing rotation super slow. So DPS classes definitely have the upper hand here. Corsair. So Corsair is crazy, but it comes with a price. The damage is so high, but the price is tons of micromanagements and settings. But regardless to that, they have a nodes issue, so sadly it belongs to node issue. Shadowware is super fun. They have a really strong damage intervals. The whole kit is just well-rounded and super good in all aspects. I would consider them as slightly overpowered. It's definitely amazing option as a bossing mule. The only downside is weaving Mesos Explosion, but it's not too bad. Ice Lightning. So this class is also better in late game with those rings and buff duration for the infinity buff, which is a huge part of their burst. It's still a good class if you wanna boss mule it, so it's either in mains or here. Buccaneer, my main. Buccaneer is getting a 10% final damage in Savior update. This class is insane, it's amazing in every aspect, and the consistent DPS is crazy. It belongs to the perfect bossing mule for sure. It's amazingly strong, fun and chill to play. High base ID, and you don't need any crit rate on it because they have max crit rate on bosses. Initial speed infusion buff, and also one of the best mobilities in the game. You can dodge anything, anytime, and also DPS while dodging. It's just the perfect bossing mule, and also regardless, the class aesthetics are so nice. The serpent theme is so cool. So Kinesis is a bit clunky compared to other bossing mules, and it's one of the most micromanagey classes in the game, while not being overly strong to make up for it. I think it fits more to mains or good if you like the class. Luminous got tons of buffs over time. Overall, I think it's a great option. They have easy nodes, great burst, great off-burst damage. I love the low cooldown bursty skill they have like every 25 seconds. Yeah, it's a really good option for sure. Mechanic. So mechanic burst is amazing and it's so cool visually. It's really cool. And the DPS is nice as well. It's also kinda underrated, but it does feel heavy and clunky to play, and when you boss you gotta spam the missiles hotkey in addition to the other skills, so it's a bit tired and uncomfortable, kinda like a combo class. That's the main reason I don't have a mechanic bossing mule, so it belongs to good if you like the class and if you can handle the weaving, the missiles weaving thingy. Fire Poison Mage. So not a long time ago, Fire Poison was cracked. It used to be really overpowered, but it got nerfed over time in the recent updates, and it's still a great strong class, but they have nodes issue and cooldown issues with the infinity buff, which also means you need a lot of buff duration. Either way, it belongs to mains for sure, especially because of the nodes issue. Xenon, another node issue class, giga overpowered burst, but kinda shitty off burst, and the burst charging thingy is so annoying. I used to die every time I used to charge the burst and it went into cooldown, so yeah, pretty annoying. And Xenons also scales really good with Oz rings, so they could fit more to mains or node issue, either one. Alright, Dual Blade, my favorite bossing mule. It's really fun to play. I love the low cooldown skills. They are also getting a nice buff in Savior update. The burst cooldown is low and it fits perfectly between bosses and syncs up perfectly with Last Resort and AB Link. The whole bossing rotation from start to finish is fast as my down warrior, even though my down warrior stats are higher. So dual blades are just underrated, especially as bossing mules. They have a high base ID percent, high crit rate, insane DPS, low cooldown burst, easy nodes, insane survivability. Everything about this class is so chill and easy. It belongs to the perfect bossing mule for sure. And one last thing I wanna mention, if you're going for a dual blade, make sure to get a cooldown reduction hat on it. Zero is kinda lacking, they still need a damage boost. DPS wise, they're a bit behind, especially for solo bossing, because in parties they can use their zero bind thingy. So for solo bossing, they are still lacking, sadly. Paladin. Alrighty, so Paladins have a 30 seconds long iframe. The survivability is amazing. They also have a lot of party buffs and support skills, but in terms of solo bossing damage, the damage is kinda low and lacking. So it's amazing in every single aspect besides the DPS itself. So I'll put it in good if you like the class. Honestly, it is a good option. Nightwalker is one of the best bossers in the game, especially in late game like Nightlord. But unlike Nightlord, they can be super good even as a bossing mule in early game. In Savior update, they are getting big buffs and they are really fun to play. The nodes are pretty easy and overall damage is insane. So I think Nightwalker could be an amazing option. Blaster. So just like Cadena, Blaster, DPM and damage are incredible. This class is definitely overpowered in terms of damage, but it comes with a huge price. Playing this class is super hard. You gotta weave when you DPS and you gotta basically press on like 20 hotkeys a second. It's really try hard, high effort, high reward. It's totally worth it if you don't mind weaving all day, but either way it fits more to the mains category. It's not a comfy boss mule. Kaiser is a solid DPS class with almost no burst. Their DPS might still be lacking, but it's a good class with a nice consistent damage and pretty fun and easy to boss with. So sure, if you like the class, go for it. Demon Avenger. I know it's surprising, but Demon Avenger is a solid class now. After years of being a troll AIDS class, it's finally a viable option. The nodes are easy, huge DPS with a 2-minute cooldown burst and a built-in bind. I think Demon Avengers are a great option at this point. Bowmasters. So Bowmasters are insane now. They have a really good consistent DPS. In the Korean Maplestory, Bowmasters are called the 30 seconds master because the burst lasts for 30 seconds and during these 30 seconds you are just on steroids. The burst cooldown is only 2 minutes, so it's pretty frequent, and the off burst is super good as well. They also have initial sharp eyes, lifesteal, extra lives, auto DPS skills. You just hold one hotkey while DPSing or while bursting, and you can also move while holding the key. It belongs to the perfect bossing mule or to amazing. Honestly, I don't know. Thunderbreaker. Okay, so Thunderbreaker DPS is pretty good. It's one of the most fluid classes. You can move around super quickly, which helps a lot with the survivability, but it's pretty annoying to play. It's called Fingerbreaker for a reason. You gotta spam between two hotkeys in order to DPS. So in cases where you're just quick bossing on half a screen while watching YouTube or anime and still have to do 5 bossing mules after that or something like that, Thunderbreaker will probably give you AIDS. So yeah, I don't see why going for Thunderbreaker. There are better alternatives with so much less effort. Okay, so Wind Archer is amazing, and just like Marksman and Bowmaster, they are super chill, basically one hotkey holding class with amazing consistent damage. Wind Archer is actually the favorite bossing mule of a lot of people because of how comfortable it is, so it belongs to here. Illium. I can't stand this class, it's so annoying to play, but that's just my personal opinion. Overall, I heard it's really strong, especially the burst, but I don't know, dude, it's a bossing mule, too annoying. You gotta chase the boss with the orb thingy and recast it every time he moves. So, I don't know, good DPS, cancer mechanics, probably belongs to okay if you like the class. Shade. So Shade is definitely a great option for a bossing mule. You can also hyper burn it to 250 and get crit damage bonus in Legion, because Shade's bonus is crit damage, and that's what I'm gonna do, this hyper burn. But anyways, bossing wise, it's really good. The damage kinda gets carried by the 5th job skills, so you might need a lot of nodes, but that's the only downside. The damage, cooldown and survivability are all amazing. Battle Mage. So Battle Mage really shines against certain bosses and kinda falls against others. Nexon keeps nerfing them for some reason. I have no idea why. The damage is pretty good and consistent, and they have a great burst, so it's overall fine. One of my strongest bossing mules is Battle Mage. The solo bossing isn't, I don't know, it's average. It belongs to here for sure. Adele. So Adele is a strong class. They have really good DPS and burst, but it feels a bit clunky to play. Adele is still a great option for a bossing mule in terms of damage. They do have some micromanagements though, so keep that in mind. Phantom, nodes issue, sadly. Not a lot of people are aware of how good Phantom consistent damage is. It's actually a really fun class, but sadly they have big nodes issue. The trios are way too hard to find. I'm like 1k nodes into my Phantom bossing mule, and I still didn't get the 2 perfect trios. So yeah, node issues, kinda rip because it's a fun class. Alright, Bishop. Bishops are more suitable to be mains and use their party utility and buffs. Again, if you like the class, go for it. The damage is good, but as a solo bosser, I think there are better alternatives. They also kinda require rose rings and buff duration, which again points us to late game and mains. Arc. Alright, so finally Arc got some good buffs. They got a lot of buffs in Savior update and they were in the bottom for a while, and post Savior they are finally good again. They're still a burst class and they still require a lot of setups and micromanagements, so I think they belong in okay if you like the class. Angelic Buster. So AB got some small buffs in Savior update. They are still lacking damage in my opinion, and I really hope Nexon will give them some love in the future. I really do. Demon Slayer. Okay, Demon Slayer is an amazing option for a bossing mule. They have a lot of built-in IED percent and high crit rate, which makes them a really good option and make things so much easier. Overall an amazing class, maybe even slightly overpowered, especially with global Maplestory attack speed. So yeah, they belong to amazing. Well, this class is kinda underrated. They have a really good burst and okay DPS, but the class mechanics feels like such a mess, not comfy at all. And they also use a lot of skills, so they probably have a node issue as well. Overall, I think it's an okay option if you like the class, but they shine more in parties or in late game. And we got Kanna. So Kanna used to be top tier in everything, but they got nerfed to the ground sadly. Their damage is super low at this point, and Nexon is once again neglecting them because it's a non-KMS class. So sadly Kanna goes to lacking. And the last one is Mercedes. It's a super strong bosser, but again there's a certain price for the good damage. It's a combo class and it's hard and irritating to play in my opinion, and you lose a lot of DPS if you don't use the annoying combos, so you have no choice. It's also a burst class, so Oz rings and late game fits more to Mercedes, so it goes to mains. There we have it guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it helped. It took a lot of time writing the script and edit and everything, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment. Likes and comments are much appreciated, it helps the algorithm. I'm gonna be active on YouTube again, feel free to join my Discord, the link is in the description. And hopefully, if New Age update won't be disappointing, I'll make a lot of videos about it, showing the new skills and changes and everything, live from Korean Maplestory. So a lot of content is coming up soon hopefully. Thanks for watching and see you next time guys.